How's it going, kiddos? Handsome Jack Boy here, bringing you guys the first episode of my Battleborn, a legendary gear guide. And in this episode, I'm going to be covering the firmware update. Now, before I talk about this particular legendary, I kind of want to explain a couple things, get a couple things out of the way before we get started. Firstly, the formatting of this series is going to be different to the formatting of my Borderlands Legendary Guide series. By different, I mean slightly different. I'm not going to be going as in depth with these legendaries as I would with a legendary on Borderlands, just because these aren't guns. These are different from guns. Really, all they do is give you buffs to your character, and that's really it. They're not guns. There's not a lot to talk about when it comes to these legendaries. It's really going to be just how to get them. Like, that's kind of the focus of this series, is how to get these legendaries. I still will be talking about them a little bit. Like, I'll have a brief overview of what they do, and then of course I will have gameplay in the background so you can kind of get a better understanding if my explanation doesn't come across as very clear, which it might not sometimes. So now that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing is I wanted to go over really quick the types of legendaries that you can get and how you can obtain them. Now, there are two types of legendaries in Battleborn. You have legendaries like this that you can get either via farming a specific boss or through a loot pack, and then there's class-specific legendaries that you can get for each character by completing their lore challenges. So if we're talking about Montana, for example, if you complete all of his lore challenges, I believe it's all of them. I haven't gotten one yet, but if you complete all of his lore challenges, you will unlock his legendary, which can be used on any character, but if you use it on Montana, it has additional bonuses applied to it. Alright, so with those two things out of the way, let's get right into this. Like I said, I am going to be covering the firmware update, and I believe the percentages of the skills that you see on this item, and I think this goes for all of the other legendaries, are randomized, so the percentages that you see on mine may differ on yours, but mine gives you a minus 6.72% cooldown time plus 5.37% sprint speed, and there's a 6.72% chance that using a skill will reduce all active cooldowns by 2 seconds. Now, to get your hands on this, you can do what I did and get it from Jeff the Arachnus, which is the second boss that you fight in the first mission, the Algorithm. I got this. I was pretty lucky and got this during my Battleborn Let's Play. To you guys out there that watched the first episode of my Let's Play, near the end I actually get this as a drop, and right here you'll see it drop. But this is the way that I recommend getting this legendary. Any legendaries that you can get via farming a specific boss, then definitely do it that way. The other way of doing it is getting it through a epic loot pack, but the problem with doing that is if you do get a legendary, the legendary that you get may not be this one. It can be, I think, any legendary. So that's the problem with doing that. Now, as you can see at the top of the screen, it says we picked up the firmware update, legendary gear, and yeah, so moving on to the gameplay. I do have it activated, as you just saw right there, and it does cost 1,800 shards, so you're going to have to get that first before you're going to be able to activate it. But once you activate it, it does stay on for the entire duration of that mission, or if you're playing in PvP, that match. So I am playing as Whiskey Foxtrot right here, and the cooldown times for my skills have been reduced. I also have a little bit of increased sprint speed. I did try to, show off some gameplay of that increased sprint speed in action, but there's really not much of a difference. The decreased cooldown for my skills I didn't really notice either. If you're lucky and get that minus 2 seconds off of all of your active cooldowns when you use a skill, then that's cool. I never really noticed it. It's kind of hard to notice in the midst of combat, but minus 2 seconds doesn't really sound like a lot, to be honest. And the chances of getting that are actually kind of slim. It really kind of just depends on how often you do use your skills. The more you use your skills, the better the chance that you'll get at reducing all of your active cooldowns. So if you notice that you use your skills a lot, which I mean, who doesn't in this game, then this is a pretty decent legendary to get. But apart from that, that's pretty much going to wrap it up, guys. I think this was a pretty good first episode. Let me know in the comments if you guys think the formatting is fine, just how I put this guide together. If you think anything needs to be changed, then let me know. But I think the formatting is just fine. It is similar to how I do my Borderlands guides. And I hope you guys like that. But like I said, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe for more. And I'm out of here. Peace!